So camera lenses can be super confusing at first. Like, what do all of these numbers mean on the lens? What's the best lens for beginners? Which one should you choose if you're a photographer or you're into video? There's lots of questions. So in this video, let's break down everything there is to know about lenses for beginners.
You gotta just press record.
Now, one of the most important factors for any lens is its focal length. And every lens has a focal length that's expressed in millimeters. And you'll see this on the lens as mm. You might see 20 millimeters or 50 millimeters, or even a range like 70 to 200 millimeters. These are all different focal lengths. Now, focal lengths are important for a few different reasons. And the first is that it determines your field of view, otherwise known as FOV. So this is how much of your scene is going to be captured. How wide is your shot going to be, or how tight will your shot be? Focal lengths with a wider FOV are things like 11 millimeters, 16 millimeters, and 20 millimeters. And these are great for showcasing wide scenes like landscapes or buildings, or even recording in smaller studio spaces like I'm in right now. I'm actually using a 20 millimeter lens in my loft studio space. Now, focal lengths with a medium field of view are things like 35 millimeters or 50 or 70 millimeters, and these are great for everyday shooting and just filling a variety of needs. And then focal lengths with a tighter field of view are things like 85 millimeters or 105 or 200 millimeters and beyond. These are known as telephoto lenses, and these are great for capturing subjects that are further away from your camera, like wildlife photography or sports content or concerts and more. So that's how your focal length affects your different fields of view. Now, focal length will also determine your lens compression, and compression is the effect where objects in the background appear to almost be closer to your subject when you're using longer focal lengths like telephoto lenses. And this happens because telephoto lenses narrow your field of view like we talked about, but they also magnify distant objects, and they make the background seem larger and closer to your subject than a wide angle lens would. So just know that when you use a longer focal length, your image is going to look more compressed. Now, the third main factor that focal length affects is lens distortion, and wider focal lengths will tend to be a little bit more distorted, and they're going to make the world seem almost like stretched out or expanded. Sometimes even straight lines like buildings are going to start looking curved with these wider focal lengths. And then tighter focal lengths, on the other hand, tend to minimize distortion, keeping lines more straight, and overall your image will just look more natural when you use these tighter lenses.